Here we are again, reviewing another post-curious puzzle tale helmed by Rita Orlov, along with co-designers Mark Larson and Chelsea Stark. And if you've ever played any of the publisher's games in the past, you know both what you're getting into, and you don't need that much else in terms of coaxing. I've played them all, and this is among the best. For you, this is the end of the review. Now, for the uninitiated, or those that just want a little peek behind the curtain, know that these escape room in a box games, particularly those by Post Curious, are built upon their mystery, sense of discovery, and wonder. And while I'm going to try to be vague and avoid spoilers, for those wanting to 100% avoid anything that could be considered a possible, maybe, might be a little bit of a spoiler, this is a review. I need context. I need B-roll. You've been warned. Okay, so Ministry of Lost Things is the publisher's most whimsical title yet, and as the box proudly displays, they're first in a series, with this being Case 1, Lint Condition. You and the agents of the Ministry who specialize in obtaining, categorizing, and overall dealing with those ephemeral and often sentimental objects we all lose throughout life. Umbrellas, keys, coins, stamps, you name it. The story contains 5 sequential envelopes packed with puzzles that serve as the gates that keep the central narrative checked against the MOLT website that prompts questions, offers skillfully crafted hints to carefully nudge you through any roadblock you may come across in a puzzle, checks your answers, and prompts you when to open the next envelope. And the puzzles themselves? They're great. It's fantastic that I'm now more than 5 games deep with this publisher, and while there are echoes of familiarity, I'm still surprised, if less often confounded by the puzzles. Linguistics, logic, some light math, and spatial reasoning make up the bulk of the puzzles, and while the envelopes themselves are sequential, each typically has a few goals and mysteries within, so partners can work in tandem and trade off objects and share discoveries thus far when they get stuck. The particular highlights of this title are how much dimensionality is actually packed into a slight box, with the envelopes that seem like it'd be predominantly flat. I mean, it's no Emerald Flame, but it's no Light in the Mist either. This is also a particularly playful puzzle tale, like if the X-Files were made by Jim Henson, featuring a good amount of humor and memorable characters, without fully sacrificing the mature, often melancholic sentimentality Orlov has treaded in. And smartly, the game seems designed with scope in mind, hinting at a larger world to be explored inevitably in future cases, though this title, and hopefully the rest in the series, will feel completely cohesive on their own. This was also the first time that my wife and I brought in our son to help on one of these adventures. Either down to the whimsy or his now being nearly 10 years old, he was able to help with his own rudimentary deciphering as a welcome companion at the table, though in spite of him loving magic tricks and Rubik's Cubes, most of the puzzles proved too difficult for him without a guiding hand. As for us, this turned out to be the least obtuse experience we've had with one of these games, seldom relying on clues, and when we did, it was merely to make sure that we were on the right path. A couple really stumped us, but in that good, oh, of course, in retrospect, that's obvious sort of way. It still felt challenging, and success was very rewarding, but all in all, it came together smooth. Lint Condition proves to be an excellent start for what I hope is a long and vibrant series that continues to surprise down the road. The bite-sized, well, relative bite-sized box that took us about 3.5 hours to tackle is beautifully presented and whimsically driven, seeming like the perfect couple's date or even double date night, or even solitaire conundrum, though given the linear nature in each envelope sporting only a couple of puzzles, I'd cap out attendees at 4. Fortunately, most of the ones you end up writing all over, you can print extras from the website, so if people want spares, you got them. Post Curious continues to skillfully up the puzzle tale game. While Ministry of Lost Things Case 1 doesn't top my personal favorite, The Light in the Mist, it keeps good company in their catalog and continues their drive to embark on something new.